Hey everybody, I am going to finally read Suki's Kimono. So the power words that I went over yesterday, hope you remember them. Okay, they look like this. If you don't remember, go back and watch that video again, okay? I go through all of them. And then do you remember the questions that I asked? Okay, what do you think Suki's going to do in this story? And then what kind of text do you think this is? Okay, so I hope you've asked yourself that, because this book is a realistic fiction book. So it really didn't happen, but it is a story that could happen. Okay? Suki could be a real girl, and the things that happened to her in the story could absolutely happen. Okay, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this story. Also, I need to tell you, there are some Japanese words in here that you may have never ever heard before. I'm going to tell you what they are and what they mean. So the first one, ageta, is a Japanese wooden clog or shoes. A kimono is a Japanese robe with wide sleeves. An obachan is an informal word for grandma. Obi is a kimono sash, which is what they wear around their belly in their kimono. Somen is fine noodles that they eat. And finally, taiko is a type of Japanese drum. So Miss Elvie's going to try and show you the illustrations as best as I can as I read, okay? Alrighty, here we go. On the first day of school, Suki wanted to wear her kimono. Her sisters did not approve. "You can't wear that," said Mari. "People will think you're weird." "You can't wear that," said Yumi. "Everyone will laugh and no one will play with you." "You need something new, Suki. You need something cool." But Suki shook her head. She didn't care for cool, and she didn't care for new. She wanted to wear her favorite thing, and her favorite thing was her kimono. Suki's obachan, and remember that's her grandmother, had given her the kimono. The first time Suki wore it, her obachan took her to a street festival where they slurped bowls of slippery cold somen noodles and shared a cone of crunchy shaved ice topped with a sweet red bean sauce. Under strings of paper lanterns, Suki joined her obachan in a circle dance. She followed her and copied her movements, trying to be as light and as graceful. She watched the other women and children who danced, especially those who were dressed in cotton kimonos like her. There's Suki and her obachan. Later, Suki sat down so close to the stage that when the taiko drummers performed boom, 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 she felt like she'd swallow a ball of thunder, and her whole insides quaked and quivered. Before they left the festival, Suki and her obachan stopped at a souvenir stand. There were many things to choose from, but her obachan found the prettiest thing of all, a handkerchief of pale pink linen decorated with tiny maple leaves and cherry blossoms. When she gave it to Suki, she said, "This will help you remember our day." Now it was time for school. Mother checked Suki's obi one last time and took a picture of Mari, Yumi, and Suki together by the front steps. Then, as she watched, the three sisters made their way down the block to their school. Mari and Yumi stayed several paces ahead of Suki and pretended they didn't know her. But Suki didn't mind. She turned and waved to her mother before she clip-clopped along in her shiny red geta, feeling very pleased in her fan-patterned blue kimono. And remember, her geta are the Japanese clogs. You can kind of see them on her feet. Once in a while, Suki would lift her arms and let the butterfly sleeves flutter in the breeze. It made her feel like she had grown her own set of wings. When they reached the school, Mari and Yumi hurried across the yard to a group of their friends. Suki stopped and looked around. Some of the children turned and stared at her, and others pointed at her kimono. But Suki ignored them. She took a seat on a swing to wait for the bell. A girl, dressed in overalls just like a pair Suki had at home, sat in the swing beside her. "Hi, Suki," said the girl. "Hi, Penny," said Suki. "How come you're dressed so funny?" Penny asked. "Where'd you get those shoes?" Suki lifted her feet off the sand and wiggled her toes. "I'm not dressed funny," she said. "My grandma gave me these shoes." Suki started pumping her legs. After a moment, Penny did the same, and soon they were both swinging as fast and as high as they could. Swoosh, swoosh, up and up. When the bell rang, Suki and Penny jumped off their swings and ran to the gym for the first day assembly. Once they were finally taken to their new classroom, Suki chose a desk near the window, and Penny chose a desk next to Suki. As they waited for everyone to find a seat, two boys in front of Suki turned and snickered behind their hands. One of the boys reached over and snatched at Suki's sleeve. "Look at this," he said. "She's a bat." He's not being very kind, is he? Suki felt her cheeks burn, but she did not respond. Instead, she concentrated on sitting up straight and tall, the way that her obi-chan always did. It was easy to do with an obi wrapped snug around her middle. Her obi was golden yellow, and in its folds, Suki had tucked away her pale pink handkerchief. "Welcome to first grade," said the teacher. "My name is Mrs. Paggio." She smiled. "Let's introduce ourselves and tell everyone what we did this summer." When it was her turn to speak, Suki stood up and told the teacher her name. "Hello, Suki," said Mrs. Paggio. "What did you do this summer?" "My grandma visited us," she said, straightening her sleeves. "She brought me my kimono and my gaita." Suki raised her foot to show the teacher her wooden clog. There you can see a better picture of her gaita. Somewhere in the classroom, someone laughed, but Suki took a deep breath and continued. The best thing was that she took me to a festival, and there were dancing girls dressed like me, and they danced like this." She took a few steps and swayed her arms sideways. "Look, now she's dancing," someone said, but Suki didn't hear. She hummed the music and remembered hearing it at the festival. She remembered how it felt to dance barefoot in the open air on the fresh-cut grass that tickled her toes. She tried to picture the other dancers, how they moved forward in the circle with the rhythm of the music, how they stamped their feet, first right, then left, swung their arms, first up, then down, how they stepped back and back and back and clapped. When Suki couldn't remember the next step, she just made it up. Just keep dancing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, stop. When she finished, the room seemed very quiet. Everyone was watching. Suki sat down, wondering if she was in trouble. But Mrs. Paggio said, "That was wonderful," and she started to clap. Then, so did Penny, and after a moment, so did the entire class. After school, as the three sisters walked home together, Mari and Yumi grumbled about their first day. "No one even noticed my new sweater," said Mari. "No one even noticed my cool shoes," said Yumi. But Suki just smiled. As she clip-clopped along behind them, Suki pulled out the pale pink handkerchief from her obi and held it up over her head to catch the wind. And in her blue cotton kimono and her shiny red gaita, Suki danced all the way home. The end. So, I hope you liked Suki's kimono. And I'm wondering if the questions that you asked before I read what would happen in the story, did anything happen that you thought would? Anything new happen? Did you learn something new? What did you gather from this story? Okay? Send me a thought. What do you think about this story? I really liked it, and I hope you did too. Bye, guys.